Hey everyone, welcome back. Oh my gosh, what a glorious day today it was with Bitcoin miners. A toast to all of you for sticking around for this long and to Bitcoin miners for going up. So today was a great day. As you guys are aware, Bitcoin just reached over 71,000 and a half roughly. I don't know where it's at right now. I'm doing the live stream so I can't look. But we'll take a look at what's going on with the miners. Bitcoin, the miners did fantastic today. They were up 3+X on top of what Bitcoin did today. This is kind of what we want to see when we get into this bull rally. So that was good to see. We'll also take a look at a couple stories that we do have. There's not much. Bitfarms hires a new legal person. I thought that was great news. Bitdeer also provided some information on their seal miner A2. So we actually have some data on it as far as what the hash rate is, joules per terahash. We'll take a look at that. Compare it also to Bitmain. And then we'll get into like the enterprise metrics on the miners really quick, see where they are right now as of today. And then we'll get into your guys' Q&A. So that should be it, okay? As always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. Full disclosure down below that. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into what's going on here with Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is doing really, really well. So it's about time. All right, so Bitcoin today was up nicely. It's up nicely again in the new day. But Bitcoin was up 2.92%, roughly 3%. And then the miners did at least 3x plus that. Some miners like Bitdeer today was like 8x on top of what Bitcoin did today, which was fantastic to see. We'll talk about that as far as their miner being, kind of information being, the information about the miner being available now, a little bit at least. We got some of it. So the miners had a fantastic day. Bitcoin had a fantastic day as well. We have now the 50-day moving average above the 200 simple day moving average as well. So that's looking good. When we talked about this, I was a little hesitant. It was definitely, Bitcoin was definitely testing my patience and my conviction that would have a really good month here in October. We still have a couple more days to go. We'll see where it ends up. But right now, it is looking to be really, really good. When we talked last on, I think it was on Saturday, Bitcoin was only up like 5-6% on the month of October, which is kind of lackluster for what we would expect. But it's definitely doing a nice showing right now, at least. We're up about 10% on the month so far. I want to see that closer to like 15% to like 20% possibly, as we've seen the average being that way over the last 11 years or so. So that's looking good. Bitcoin's doing really good right now as well. We're above 71,000. We blew past today the downward trending support line here, which is the yellow line here, which is now at, well, that support was at, or resistance was at 67,700. We blew past that. That was good. And right now we still have to get past the 73,000 mark, which we reached over here. This was back in March, right? So going pretty much almost, what is that, 8-7 months back, 9 months, something like that. Going back to that, we reached at 73,000, what was the high? 73,835. Once we get past that, we are in price discovery mode at that point, and all bets are off at that point as well. Okay, so things are looking good for us. We need these days. We need more of these days for the miners to do really well. And this is why we're invested in them, right? The down days are terrible, but the green days are, oh my gosh, those are fabulous. So it all pays off being patient, but man, it is trying at times, right? I'm typically pretty positive on things, and I've been positive on Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners, but man, it is definitely trying my patience and my conviction on some of this stuff here. We'll see how the month ends up here in the next couple of days. When we end it, we'll see where Bitcoin is for the month, but right now it's looking pretty good. Okay, miners. Bitfarms was up 12% today. Nice day today. Finally catching a little bit of bid. It's still, I think, way under from where it should be. Will we see continuation of this happening while it kind of reprices itself a little bit? Because I think it's just been beaten way down too much. Maybe we'll keep an eye on it, but at least it had a nice day today. Bitdigital was up 9.67%. Bitdeer up 24.4%. I mean, this thing was like a rocket today. I don't know if it was the news that came out. Well, not really the news. But they posted on X the seal miner A2's performance, 446 terahash, 16 some joules per terahash, which is really good. We'll compare that to Bitmain miners here in a second here. Cypher was only up 3.66%, but I mean, you can see it's been up huge here recently. So I think it's just taking a little bit of a breather. I got a little overexcited here. I mean, it's up to the top here today. It was up 120%. Where it closed out, it was 114%. So they need a little bit of break, I think. Our side was looking pretty high here. It's been bouncing around, but still been going up. So a little bit of break, maybe some rotation happening out there also going to the other miners that haven't done as well as Cypher has done here recently. Cleanspark was up nicely as well today, 10.18%. CORZ was up 6.21%. Then we had, I mean, CORZ has done a fantastic job here recently. I mean, you can see the RSI also has been Kind of cleared close to the 70 mark, but the price still continues to go up. So that one has been tremendously going upwards. Hive was up 13.22% as well. HUT was up 15%. Nice day for HUT. IREN was up 17%. That one went awesome today as well. We broke above the Fibonacci retracement level of 0.618. That was good to see. Maro also did great today, 11% on the day. If we get past this line here, I think we might have a nice rally even upwards to, I think maybe our next line would be probably around the 20s, 22, somewhere around there. Riot was up also nicely, 9% today. It's had a nice run up here also in the last, since basically the beginning of September here, where it bottomed out. It's had a nice run up here. It's up 66% as well. So that's looking good there. And then Wolf was up another 7.37% today from where it bottomed out here. Just, when was it? Beginning of October here, it looks like a little bit. It's up, well, today was up to like 92%. It closed around 80%. But if we go back a little further on it to where it bottomed out here, it has been up like 160%. It closed at 146%. So if you got in at this point around here, you're doing really well right now, which a lot of you guys are probably. RSI is looking pretty hot here a little bit, but I think it still can go up even more on that one. We'll see. All right, so the smaller miners were also up nicely today. DMG was up almost 20%, 19%. Argo, Digihost were up 10%. Mawson was up 14%. Stronghold was up 14% as well. And then the ETFs did pretty well today, really well. DGHI, which I own, was up 10%, along with BitQ was up 8%. BKCH was up 8%. DAP was up 7.6%. So really good day for the miners, Bitcoin in general. Let's see where Bitcoin's at right now, see if it's doing anything interesting. It's down a little bit from where the top was, but not too bad. Look at the network hash rate. Network hash rate is continuing to increase here. And we are at right now on the 7-day average at 717 exahash. The peak here was 735 exahash. On the 30-day average, we are climbing, and we are climbing fast here. We are now at 685 exahash. We started the year, where did we start the year? March, April, February, January, down here. Right there. We started the year at 509. We added almost 200 exahash here in the year. We still have a lot of exahash to be added from the public miners that I track, smaller miners as well. I'm sure there's a bunch of private miners that are getting hash rate installed as well into this bull run. So I still expect that to be somewhere between 800 and 900 exahash by the end of the year potentially. So that's playing out the way I thought it would, more or less. We'll see how close I get to that. And then the hash price is going up a little bit. It's not much. It's up to $46 right now. I'd like to see that above 50 and even higher than that. But I think we'll get there as time goes on and Bitcoin actually goes up in value also. Okay, so that's it on that. Here's the monthly chart for Bitcoin. October right now is at 10%. This was as of the close, I think, of today for Bitcoin. So that's looking pretty good. That's looking a lot better than what we saw Friday and Saturday of this past week. And if we get closer to like 15%, 20%, this will be a similar cycle like we've seen in the past, which is good. Because I was starting to contemplate whether or not we're going to have an extended cycle. And if this plays out where we're up 15 to 20% by the end of the week here, that will be really good. And it would lead me to believe that we are still in the same kind of cycles as we were in the past. But November will also be a good tell there to see how November does. All right. So a couple stories that we do have here. Bitfarms appoints Rachel Silverstein as U.S. General Counsel. This was really good news, I think. And we'll talk about it here. But Bitfarms today announced that it has appointed Rachel Silverstein as U.S. General Counsel, a newly created role effective November 1st, 2024. I was actually not aware, but she was actually following me before I started following her. So today when I saw the news, went on X, tried to find her, and I saw that she was already following me, so I followed her back. So now I have maybe a point of contact there, maybe. As well as with Ben. So Ms. Silverstein has been practicing attorney for over 16 years, is one of the most experienced Bitcoin mining-focused attorneys in the U.S., having served as a lead counsel on well over a gigawatt worth of Bitcoin mining transactions across multiple states and countries. She is a co-founder of the firm 21M, a law firm dedicated to representing primary Bitcoin miners, energy companies, investors, and data center builders in all manners of commercial transactions, mergers, acquisitions, strategic financings, energy supply agreements, and hosting agreements. So she's got the experience, right? And this is, I think, a really good get for Bitfarms here. Interested to know what's going on with the firm there with 21M, if she is basically closing that down or what happened there. Maybe we'll find out in due course. Prior to founding the firm, Ms. Silverstein held the position of general counsel at Cleanspark. That was interesting. That was new to me. from 2020 to 2023. I never really got into who was in the general counsel or some of the back office stuff. But that's interesting that she was there. And corporate counsel at Zappos, that's a big company there that was bought out by Amazon a while back. So good. That's a good, big company there as well. She earned a bachelor's degree from George Washington University and Juris Doctorate degree from William S. Boyd School of Law, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So she's got the credentials, right? And then here's a quote from Ben. We continue to strengthen the Bitfarms team and are thrilled to have a thought leader like Rachel join our team, said Ben, Chief Executive Officer. Internalizing this function will drive improved operating efficiencies, further enhance our corporate governance, and reduce legal expenses. All good things. And then Rachel's extensive expertise and proven track record with the Bitcoin miners and data center builders will be invaluable as we continue to scale in the United States. We look forward to her contributions as we continue to execute on our strategic initiatives and create further shareholder value. All good things. So it's nice to see that they are looking to build out more here in the United States, which we knew that was the kind of path that they were going here after they announced the acquisition of Stronghold, which is supposed to get through at the beginning of, I'm not saying beginning, somewhere in the first quarter of 2025. So we have that to look forward to, as well as hopefully they provide some numbers on where they are with mining right now, their hash rate. I still haven't heard back from Ben yet. I sent him another request last week. If he's maybe just too busy, which I understand, or they're in a like a quiet period right now, maybe, I have no idea. But maybe we'll get something down the road. Okay, so this is all good news here. Next is on Bitdeer. So I saw this today come out. So the futures flowing in with Serial Miner A2 Hydro. This is definitely a new, I don't know if it's new. We knew that they had a roadmap of miners and ASICs that they're going to be developing over time and where those are going to be going down to as far as joules per terahash efficiency and all that stuff. But we never saw or never had any data as far as what was the terahash per machine, things like that. And now they are actually providing that, which is good. So with a powerful 446 terahash and a lean 16.5 joules per terahash energy efficiency ratio, Serial Miner A2 Hydro cooling mining rig is about to make a splash in the Bitcoin mining world. Built on a 2U standard server for easy deployment and featuring seamless compatibility with WhatsMiner's MBT's cutting-edge hydro cooling infrastructure. Dive in with Bitdeer, but they don't provide anything as far as where you can actually dive more into it. So here's what we have. 16.5 joules, 446 terahash. And then down here it says, image provided for reference purposes only. Kindly consult the actual product for accurate description or depiction. So this is what it might look like somewhere around there, right? This is a regular 2U rack server mount setup here. So you can use those in standard data centers instead of building out data centers specifically for Bitcoin mining itself. I think this is probably a pretty good trend going forward. That way it makes it easier to do both Bitcoin mining and HPC possibly down the road. So I think this is really good. And then when we compare that to what Bitmain is offering right now, Bitmain is offering these here. These are, I think, the most equivalent, maybe. The Bitcoin Miner S21 XP Hydro. This one is 473 terahash with 12 joules. So a little bit better on the joules per terahash, a little bit more on the hash rate too. But Bitmain's been doing this so much longer, right? The guys from Bitdeer were once part of Bitmain as well. And they have the expertise, but it does seem like Bitmain's just a little bit ahead of them right now. But I mean, look at the price here. If you buy this right now, obviously this is the price that you and I would be paying. This is not the price that the large miners would be paying. But it's coming out to be $30 per terahash roughly. It's still not too bad compared to what we were paying last cycle towards the peak. People were paying $80, $90 per terahash. This is still actually a pretty good deal considering all things. All right, so is this the reason why the stock went up today 24% roughly? Maybe. I saw nothing else from Bitdeer being reported other than this. It's got 5,000 views. Could some people be buying into it, and then possibly the roadmap down the line that they have? Could that be also good? Possibly. But yeah, it's just doing really well right now. All right, so that is it on that. Let's take a look at quickly the current enterprise metrics for the miners here as of today. TeraWulf is still way out here by itself with 322 million per terahash on the current hash rate. Future hash rate, things change a little bit here, but we still have Bitfarms, Cleanspark, Riot, Iris, still way undervalued for the future hash rate growth that they have here, right? And then some of these other guys here are getting fairly valued, I think, with the exception of maybe TeraWolf getting way overvalued on it, but they're being valued more on their HPC AI potential than anything else right now, and a little bit of combining still. They're supposed to get to like 10 to 13 exahash or something like that. But that's kind of where we are. All right, so let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things here. Today's been a great day. Let's see where Bitcoin's at right now before we switch over to the, yeah, it's still at 71,344. What a great day. All right, let's get into the Q&A, see what you guys have to say, questions, comments, anything in general. We'll talk about it here. Oh, let's see. Okay, I'm already here where I want it to be. I gotta scroll over here. All right, let me see if I can find some questions up top, catch up with you guys. It's going to take me a couple of seconds to go through those. Well, where are we at here? Okay. Ed says here. Okay. No, not Ed. There we go. HD Tech, we'll start there. So Bitfarms hired Cleanspark, old lawyer. What does it mean? Well, the old lawyer started her own firm, 21M. Not sure what's going on with that, if she's still managing partner there or she's doing two things at once. But I think that's a good thing. I don't know the details of how that's working out, whether she's only doing Bitfarms or if she's doing other things as well on that. But I think she's doing only Bitfarms based on this, and that's all I know right now. So I think that's a good thing. She definitely has experience. Let's see here. Good day for us miner investors. Yeah, it was a great day. We need a lot more of those. Let's see. Victor C, hi to you as well. Okay, let's see here. Do you think we close pre-market gaps tomorrow? Pre-market. Do we have a CME futures gap here? Did I miss that? We had a little bit of a gap here today. If we look at it here really quick. This is on the CME futures here. We got a little bit of gap between those two lines here. Let me zoom that in. It's not much, but it is something there. I mean, what is that? 70,275 and 70,500. So we might. I'm not saying we have to, but historically we do majority of the times. But we might actually fill it on our way down when we reach a new all-time high, and then we'll fill it back down possibly. There's always a possibility of that as well. All right. Let's go back here. Let's see. Bitcoin new all-time high possible today. That would have to be over 73,000. Maybe. I'd give it a small possibility of that happening. Maybe in the next day or two. Maybe. Let's see. Seb's still thinking Cleanspark 60-70 the cycle. Yeah. If Bitcoin goes to past 150,000, close to 180, 200,000, then yes. What does it mean 3x in Bitcoin? So like Bitcoin was up 3% today. We saw a lot of miners being at least like 9%, 10%, 12%. So that's a 3x on Bitcoin. Okay. 31. Let's see. Prediction on October numbers for Bitfarms. I don't know. They should be up at least 2 exahash, I would think, from where they were in September, at the end of September. Okay. Hi Seb, October is here. Yeah, it was late October, but we got it here. We need a couple more days of this. Okay, let's see. In your opinion, what will be discussed during the November 6th meeting? You were talking about Bitfarms there. That's been moved out to November 20th, I think, somewhere around there. They pushed it out. Let's see. Cleanspark better rip. I sold my wolf to get in last week. I think it will do great. Let's see. And finally, DMG is moving. Any reason why, or simply correlated Bitcoin? AG says October 27th, Golden Cross BTC. Nice. Carrot 4x4 says 165 up to date. Very nice. Nice day. I was up close to 100,000 a day as well with all my accounts, Bitcoin, miners, and my 401k plan as well. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find a question here. Okay. Bear with me here while I read through these comments, try to find some questions. Unless I go going through them. Okay. Which of the miners, bigger miners, have the biggest debt to equity ratio after CORZ? CORZ is the only one with more debt than equity, from what I can see. That will change over time for them. The other one might be, I think, Marathon, maybe. I have to look at my numbers here. Let me see if I can pull that up. But this is as of Q2 numbers for them. Let me see miner comparison. Let me see if I have it in here. Do I have debt to equity ratio in here? Current ratio, debt to equity ratio. Okay, here we go. So I do have it. And I think it's updated as well. Let's see. That one, I mean, none of them really do have it that bad. Looking at the ratios right now. Oh, this is as of 3/31. Sorry. So I haven't updated this yet for Q2. But let me see here. Marathon, if we look at it really quick, debt to equity ratio on them. Let's see. Debt to equity ratio lower is better. 0.18. So that's pretty good. Yeah, everybody's pretty well doing right now. Everybody's kind of cash strong, good balance sheet, not a lot of debt, which is definitely a change that we've seen from last cycle. Last cycle, we had a lot more debt on miners, not as strong balance sheets either. So I think the miners learned their lesson from last cycle. A lot of them did, at least. All right, going back here. Okay. Let's see here. Dad's market says, hey, Seb, I sold $2 calls and puts today because I have to finish paying off school taxes. Also, I already have twice what I need for it. Nice. Very nice. Let's see. Would you be a buyer or hoping for a pullback? I would be dollar cost averaging if I had the cash to do it. And I've been doing it up to, like, last time I bought was, what, about 2 weeks ago or something? So I'd be buying more if I had more cash to do it. Right now, I still think, and the reason I'd be buying is if I still think that the miners are going to do at least a minimum of, like, 3x, and then it's worth still buying them. Okay. What else we got? Let's see here. Adrian, thanks for all your information you provide. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in here, as always. Okay. All right. What do you think about Mara numbers if we see Bitcoin 150,000? Thank you, Sam. At 150,000? I mean, from here, you're looking at 2x on Bitcoin. They should at least do, at minimum, 3 to 5x from there. So, from where they are right now. Let's see. Hi, Seb. We just need the upgrade from Bitfarms, at least 2x hash on the next update. And then hopefully they meet 21x hash. Yeah. We need a good update here for October. Okay. Capri says, I'm waiting for a legendary short squeeze on Bitfarms. Yeah. They have a little bit of short interest, not as much as some of the other ones, but they still have a short interest on them. All right, let's see. Question, when will Cleanspark announce the Bitcoin mine for October? If positive, will that push the price of the stock much higher? Thanks. They'll provide that either the first or like the second, usually is when they provide their numbers of the new month. Let's see. Where do you see $20 Mara? Mara, I think, should be, like I said before, Bitcoin goes up nicely to where we're thinking it's going to go, past 150,000. Then we're looking at Mara being up from where it's at right now, 3 to 5x, if not more. Okay, let's see. Sebastian, I wouldn't worry about pullbacks. If we get them, I think the election concluding will light this rocket. Okay. Okay. Question, price out Bitcoin indicate Trump win currently. That, I mean, I don't know. If you look back historically, every time we have a cycle, it coincides with the election of the president for us. What has Bitcoin done each cycle in the past? It's gone up, right? It might have a little dip here or there, but for the most part, it's always gone up. Mike, oh my gosh. Let me see here. Right in that pop up. There we go. I'm in for 100,000 shares. Wow. You're going to be living the life. You're going to be buying yachts. Let's see. What else here? Riot's about to catch up. Yeah, it's been doing really well here recently. Cleanspark 245 in the next 2 months. If Bitcoin gets close to 100,000, yeah, we could possibly see that. Let's see. Mara up 7% overnight. Nice. Mara's at $20 in revenue. Okay. What does the enterprise value per exahash mean again? Okay, so basically on that one, we are taking out all of the, let's see, so enterprise value, let's look at it here. So enterprise value equals market cap plus debt minus cash. I'm also taking out HODL in here as well. And then we're looking at how much hash rate they have. So if you look at the current numbers here, you can see that IREN is being valued at about 81 million per current hash rate, which is at, what was it at? 20, I think it's 21 exahash for them right now. So that's, I'm taking the enterprise value dividing it by 21 exahash, and we're getting 81 million basically for that. Cleanspark, and then you look over here for their future hash rate growth, and then we're getting that same number here, but what is it going to be for the reported number they're supposed to get to? So for IREN, it's supposed to be 31 exahash, right? And for some of these other ones, it's a little bit higher. For like Cleanspark, it's 50 exahash. Bitfarms is 21 exahash as well. That's what I'm using the numbers for, and then we're just converting it and seeing which ones are more undervalued and more overvalued on the current hash rate or future hash rate that they have. Okay, hopefully that explains it. All right, so that one, let's see. Can you talk about BitX, the 2X ETF? It's great when it's going up. It's not so great when it's going down, right? But yeah, if Bitcoin goes up 2X, that one will do basically 4X for you. Let's see, do we have an October breakout now? Possibly. We'll have to wait and see what tomorrow's like. Basically, the rest of the month here with the couple days that we have left, which is what, 3 days left or something. If we get a nice October where we're up 15-20% on October, then yeah, we're definitely heading up in November then. See, Michael, Bitcoin's up. Yep, they're gonna go definitely crazy tomorrow. They already did today, so it seems like the miners were already front running it today. We'll see if they continue to front run it tomorrow as well. Okay. MicroStrategy is the best BTC leverage play right now. Do you see the miners catching up to MicroStrategy and maybe even outperforming it moving forward? Yes, that is still my conviction and my thought that is going to be the case. I'm not the only one that's thinking that. Also, there's quite a few people that believe that the miners in this bull run, especially when we get a nice bull run, will outperform MicroStrategy, where MicroStrategy is typically 2x, 3x on Bitcoin. The miners tend to do better than that, but it's a lot more volatile also. Where should we start scaling out in Bitfarms? Well, that depends greatly on when did you get into it. What prices did you get into it? Did you get into it at higher prices, at lower prices? That's also individual call, right? If you're up 5x on or something like that, do you scale out at that point? Probably, right? There's no shame in taking profits anytime. So that's going to be dependent on you guys. Let's see. Let's see. Chris is here. Chris, we were wondering where you were at in the beginning of the show. You weren't there, but you're here. I thought you would be. Riot is the king. Prediction for Cleanspark, Sebastian. I still think $60, $70 conservative estimate for them, given that Bitcoin goes to 150,000 plus. Okay. Oh, don't know what else. Okay, what's the most undervalued miner in your opinion? Right now, it looks like it's Bitfarms, Cleanspark, IREN as well. Those are the most undervalued for future hash rate growth from what we're seeing. Okay, when do you start to plan shitting your positions? Probably closer when we get 200,000 in Bitcoin at that point. I will start slowly dollar cost averaging out also, like 5% here, 5% there. I don't know if I can time the top perfectly. I know I'm not going to be able to time it perfectly, so I'm going to start slowly dollar cost averaging out. Let's see. Any reason why IREN was up 15%, possibly an AI contract or HPC coming soon? Could be. I think, what is it? Was it on X today that they put out that they are getting the, what are those? The GPUs, the 200 ones, from NVIDIA. Jeez. I think that was out today that they're getting those installed. A little bit ahead of schedule, I think. So that was maybe one of the catalysts. Also, Bitcoin going up was another catalyst. Melissa, what do you think of Mara? Are they improving uptime? Is there any other issues you see in them? Thank you. I know that they were down this month a little bit from where they probably should have been. Not sure what's going on there. We'll get the information once they report on them. I mean, you guys can see it probably also in the Mara pool. I don't track it daily. I track it at the end of the month. I'll take a look at it, and then I'll follow up some of you guys that track it much more closely than I do on X, where you guys are reporting what their operations are, uptime, how much BTC they mined in 24 hours, whatever it might be. Also on Patreon, my members there through Discord will provide the information as well, so I see it there. But the big thing, I like Marathon. Marathon has, one, they have the name recognition. They got a huge HODL stack, huge hash rate. They're getting to 50 exahash this year still. Their operations have not been great over time. They have been improving, which is nice to see. But that's a big thing for them, is I'd like to see much better operational uptime for them. But other than that, I mean, there's not much you can really complain about. Okay. Okay. What else we got? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read through the comments and questions, find questions here. Okay. I meant pre-market gaps on miners as Mara is up. No, they don't have to get filled. More so, we see it on the CME futures with Bitcoin. And if that gets filled, then it's going to obviously drive the price of miners as well. Let's see. Mike says Cleanspark is the only pure play Bitcoin miner. Currently, they're not the only ones. You got Bitfarms in there as well. You got also Riot in there. Marathon to an extent as well, but Marathon has been hiring some people with HPC AI experience. So could they offer something? But I think all these guys, if they get a deal like CoreWeave with Core Scientific, they would definitely entertain it and possibly do something in that regard, because it's just such a great deal. Victor says 37 exahash Cleanspark complete to December. That's the time frame that they're going. They're saying 37 plus. So I'm thinking we may get close to like 40 exahash actually. Mike says best growth strategy Cleanspark. Yes. Best HODL strategy Cleanspark. Yes, I agree with you there. They've done a fantastic job in the market, in the cycle as well. Okay, let's see. Just an observation. Historically, miners that IPO'd around the halving tend to rip like crazy. Cough, cough, Griffin. Yeah, but they also had growth. And Griffin does not have much growth, at least not yet that I've heard of. What else we got here? Okay. Do you think we get a pullback without breaking out the 73 neckline? And if so, do we pull? Where do we pull back to? Good question on that one. I'm not sure. I'm not a TA guy, as you guys know or may know. I know that we have. Let me see it. Here it is. We have supported 66,500. We know that for sure, right? It's basically been bouncing off of that here for the last couple of days. Given that we are at 73,000, and from there, where could we see things? I mean, we have some support here. Looks like maybe we got some tops right along here at, what is that? Roughly 71,500 maybe? Roughly, right? That's kind of where it came back up to. So if we go above that, I would expect us to at least come back down to that, maybe test that. If we don't go a little bit lower below that would be somewhere around here at 65,000, I think. Somewhere, or 69,500, something like that. So those would be the places I would kind of look at first. All right. Okay. Do you think hiring Bitfarms, this lawyer, is to pave the way in a year or so for Riot to transition, like what you got is telling you about this appointment? Thanks. No, I think it's just more for them to. Well, I could be wrong on this, but from what I'm reading on it, it's just that they are probably looking to buy more sites, more things like that, expand in the United States more. So I think that's kind of why they're hiring her there. Okay. Mike says, I'm throwing another 5 million. Wow. That's some high conviction there. Let's see. They are cash flow positive now. They should be. All right. Let's see here. Thanks for the update, Seb. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for coming in. Thoughts on DGMI? DMGI, is that the one you're talking about? Price target? I don't really have a price target for those guys. Those guys are smaller. They're not growing that much. Bitcoin going up, they're going to rise with Bitcoin going up as well. As far as where could they go, I don't know. Let's see. If Bitfarms goes up 50% by November 15th, I have 1,000 shares called away. Will Bitfarms get to 350 in the next 3 weeks? Depending where Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin goes up on a nice rally here. We get to closer to 85, 90,000, yeah, then I would think we would probably get there. Do you see a 100 tomorrow if 5x from here happens? Well, it'd be darn close right there, almost at 20 right now. 5x would be right around there. The previous high was 80. They didn't have as much HODL as they have right now. Their hash rate wasn't as high as it is right now as well. So it might be possible. Okay, Riot $222, depending where Bitcoin goes. That all depends on that. And can they actually get their operational uptime closer to 95%? Okay. Par says, you mentioned the meeting was pushed to November 20th. I see here November 6th with the option to push it out no later than November 20th. Or maybe I misread that wrong. I thought it was being pushed out, but I could be wrong on that. Got too many dates and too many numbers in my head sometimes. Okay. In the scenario that BTC doesn't break out to all-time high, do you think mining stocks might still stair-step up? Like maybe it gives time for the miners to catch up. I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so if Bitcoin doesn't break out to all-time high, so we're talking about 73,000, do you think mining stocks might still stair-step up? I know. They're going to follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes back down or something like that, then no. What else was there? Like maybe it gives time for the miners to catch up. Yeah, I don't think so. I think miners are going with Bitcoin. Wherever Bitcoin goes, and Bitcoin goes down, they're going to be going down as well. But short term, we may battle with the 73,000 here to get above it. But I think eventually after a couple of days or something like that, we might rocket past it, or we could just rocket past it altogether, not even battling with it. Hive, do you think Mara will pivot from miner to MicroStrategy as they have become more like Bitcoin hodler? Oh, good question on that one as well. I'm not sure. They've invested a lot in infrastructure, miners as well. I think they're trying to have the best of both worlds, being a miner and being like a MicroStrategy play as well, possibly. That's kind of my thoughts on it, but time will tell. Let's see, talked about that one already. Okay. All right. Andre says a lot of money on the sidelines waiting for results of the election. I think we're seeing some front runners here, possibly. Okay. Bitfarms share price at BTC 100,000, so we're only 30,000 away. So what is that roughly? That would be an increase of 50% would be 35,000 roughly, right? So 50%, I would think 2x minimum. Did 71,000 break major resistance? I don't think it broke major resistance. I mean, it's pretty short-term resistance here if we had it. Let's take a look at 71,000. So if we're at 71,000 here on the line, right about there. I mean, we do have some resistance here, support maybe. I mean, more resistance, I think. So maybe. We're at 71,064 right now. So we're close on that. We're going to be battling for a little bit here, I think. But I still expect us to go up in the long term. I mean, we could just continue to rocket, like I said before. Just never know, depending where Bitcoin wants to go. Okay, I have only 4,000 shares of Cleanspark. Feel so brokey. Yeah, compared to what Mike says that has. Oh my gosh. Okay, Par says no, John. We hit resistance at 7.14. Okay. Do you see Riot flipping more on market cap this cycle given future hash rate? No, because that's future hash rate is going to be not until like 2026 potentially, sometime in there. They got more growth in 2025, but a lot of it is also past that. So no, right now if we're concentrating on the current cycle, which is going to end sometime next year, right around this time, I would not expect that. Mar also has a much larger HODL position. Let's see, job data tomorrow. All right, thank you, Par, for letting us know. Let's see. We'll break it in my opinion. Nice. Okay. Seb, where do you think Bitcoin needs to be for the miners to 3x? Thank you. Has to be probably closer to 100,000. 100,000 plus a little bit. Any prediction on the next BTC bear market bottom? I'm saying right around 48,000. 48,000 to 60,000, somewhere around there. I got close to the last market bottom. I said 13,500. I think Bitcoin bottomed out like 15,000. So I was pretty close on that. We'll see where it gets to. Hi, David, as well. Let's see. Question: any miners still undervalued? Yeah, we've looked at the enterprise value. This is what I go by. What I look at, we've got Bitfarms, Cleanspark, Riot, Iris, still being undervalued for future hash rate growth. Hive as well, but Hive doesn't have that much growth here, so they might have some catching up to do as well. But that's kind of what I see right now, at least compared to some of these other miners that don't have a lot of growth, like Hut 8, Terrible. Bitdeer's got quite a bit of growth here. Cypher as well down the line, so those are definitely looking like more undervalued than the other ones. Okay. Hi Seb, I think all miners will go up, but some will do better than others. Not all 3x or 10x. Yeah, there's going to be definitely a disparity between some of them. We saw that last cycle. We saw Marathon going up like crazy, right? It was up, what was it, like from the bottom, like 70x or something like that. Riot was up 40x, I believe, somewhere around there. So, and then some of the other miners were up only like 17x. I mean, we're saying it's 17x, but that was a different cycle. I don't think we're, depending when you got into, if you got in at the bottom of some of these guys back in December of 2023, then yeah, you might have some of those gains still. Okay. Do you see Bitfarms crossing 2.5 by the end of this month? I mean, that's 3 days away. I don't know. If it gets there, that'd be great. If it gets close to that, I think that would be great also. See, Dank says Riot to a trillion. That's way off, possibly. Andre says special like buttons less than 50 is unacceptable for this pump and 250 people in here. Wow, that's it. So we got wow, we got actually. I'm showing what do we got? 325 people in here right now. Yeah, if you guys enjoy the type of content, hit the like button. If not, that's okay. Seb, what are you drinking? I'm drinking alcohol with cranberry juice. My late night relaxation drink, really. Let's see. Is IREN currently undervalued or overvalued based on current Bitcoin price? Undervalued. Question: When your MicroStrategy is volatile, aren't the miners more volatile? Yes. Yep. They're much more volatile than MicroStrategy is. Why was Hut 8 up 17% today? Couldn't figure that out either. No news, nothing like that. Bitcoin pumping, that's a result of it. They have a nice hodl position, 9,000 Bitcoin there. That could be a contributing factor also. Let's see. If large corporations like Microsoft started to buy Bitcoin, taking profits at as early, I think. Maybe. Right? That depends on the cycle. Is it going to be an extended cycle or is it going to be a shorter cycle like the regular cycles that we've seen? So that's, yeah. The thing that makes me think about it was the last cycle. 69,000 was where we peaked at. People are saying we're going to 100,000. That never happened. So I'm going to start taking profits. I round tripped it last time. I'll be honest with you guys. You guys know that. Learned my lesson on it. I'm taking profits this time. Do you think Mark can go to 40 when BTC is at 80,000? I mean, that's only 10,000 away. That would be tough, I think. Can Bitfarms do $4 this month? No. I mean, we only have a couple more days to go. I don't think it's going to get to 4. Unless Bitcoin gets to like 75, 80,000 really quickly in the next couple of days. Okay. How does Mars cost to mine compared to IREN? It is much higher. Marathon still has, is it 45% of their sites now are now owned by them and 55% is still hosted, I think, or is it the opposite? I can't remember which way. But their costs have gotten much better from where they were basically a year ago. But they're still a little bit higher than, or actually quite a bit. I think they're probably around 6 cents now, I want to say, somewhere around there per megawatt. But I could be wrong on that. Okay. LTD says, still underwhelmed with Bitfarms even with 14% day. I need a monster update. It just being underperformed by every miner, it seems. Outperformed by every miner. Yeah. We need a good update from them. IREN will be 5 billion market cap in short order. If it goes 5x, or not even 5x, it goes 3x, I think it'll be there. Maybe even less than that. Eddie says, this will be the biggest run of our lives. We've got US, Australia, Hong Kong, and international corps buying. Banks and analysts are reviewing mining companies. Russia, China legalizing BTC. We all got AI HPC. We also got HPC. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you, as always, Sebastian. Price prediction for Cleanspark in this bull run. I'm still thinking 60, 70 conservatively, depending where Bitcoin goes. Let's see. Carl says, your evaluation on the miners fundamentals are spectacular. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. Hi, said, what's the best BTC miner to buy at this point, or would Coinbase stock be a better return? No, I still think the miners are going to be a better return. They're a lot more volatile compared to maybe Coinbase, but I still think the miners will outperform. And what's the best BTC miner to buy right at this point? I talked about them. I think IREN, Cleanspark, Bitfarms are way undervalued from where they really should be. Riot as well, but Riot we need to see much better uptime. See, I'm a bag holding CAN, FTF, EBON since last bull run. Any about those stocks? I don't know about the other two. I know about CAN. CAN has not been performing well, or relatively near as well as Bitcoin has been. So it's not even keeping up with Bitcoin. For that reason, I would not recommend it. I don't know where you bought into it. Can you sell at a loss, buy into some of the Bitcoin proxy miners? Might be a better way. Let's see, Brad asks, you all ready to get rich? Well, been planning on it and investing in the way that I would think I would get rich, and we're getting closer. But we just need Bitcoin to do it a lot better. Para says, we're already rich, Brad, rich in love. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, well, I can sell 1,000 shares. I already made 25 million premiums anyway. Okay, nice. What else we have here? Do you mind sharing the demographic stats of your audience, like the percentage of genders, country, etc.? To be honest, I don't really look at that even. I just do this stuff. Whoever comes in, comes in. But it's mostly, I will say, it's mostly males, probably between the age of 18 to like 50, I think, somewhere around there. Maybe some even older. As far as geographic, a lot of it's from the U.S., Canada. Where else? Last time I looked was probably a year ago. It's probably changed by now. But we even get people from China, Australia, England, Germany, Netherlands, all those. It's a small percentage, yes, but it's all over the place. Okay. Richard says, I think the next 3 months will be insane for the miners. If history repeats, it will be. It will be great. Let's see. When does the FOMO start? What level of FOMO are we at now out of 10? Out of 10, we're probably like at 1 or 2 right now. We haven't reached FOMO yet. What will be the IREN price target if Bitcoin goes to 100,000? That's only 50% from where we are right now, roughly. At that point, I would expect them to be at least 2x plus. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, Sebastian, can you believe people doubted Mara? Hilarious. I don't know anybody that doubted Mara. I never doubted Mara. I just never got into them because I didn't like their operations. I knew they were going to do great. Could they do better than other miners? Possibly, but they could also stumble and fall. So I looked at companies that had great operations, uptime, things like that, growing nicely. Mara had majority of those things being marked or checked off, right? Just the operations were always a concern for me. Let's see, what time frame do you think might be the top of the Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner cycle, e.g. January to June 2025? If history repeats, we're looking at more like third quarter, fourth quarter of next year. The miners typically front run Bitcoin, so they should peak before Bitcoin does, at least by a week or so, or 2 weeks even, as we saw last cycle. But that's if it repeats. Okay, now let's say Bitcoin stays at 70,000 throughout the end of the year. IREN's being at 31 exahash, global hash rate at roughly 800 to 850. What is the fair value of IREN? Also with IREN, also scalping HPCI smart contracts. By at 70,000 and then being at 31 exahash. So that's 10 exahash higher from where they are right now. Global hash rate's gone up as well. They're probably going to be at the same price as they are right now, only because the hash rate has gone up. Now where hash rate has gone up, meaning that's basically a wash there. They're generating the same amount of revenue, more or less. And Bitcoin's being at the same price. Yeah, they might be actually at the same price or actually down from where they are right now. Okay. Patrick says, I was surprised up 12.5% today, only now holding IREN and Bitfarms. Hope every day like today for the rest of the year. That would be fantastic, but we'll have some down days. We got to have some down days. We're going to go up, but we're going to have some pullbacks. Let's see here. Brett says, ooh, disgusting. I just had a Kamala advertisement. Okay, I guess they're advertising on Bitcoin mining stocks now too. Interesting. Eddie says, special like button and subscribe. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Bitfarms has so much positive catalysts coming, increasing the exahash, synthetic HODL, printing money, etc. They do, yep. Let's see. Man, Hot 8 is going crazy. Yeah, where's it at right now? Can BitDigital go to $5? Where's BitDigital is at? Where is it at right now? Should be higher than that, is it? Oh yeah, BitDigital, yeah, I think so. Plus more, depending on the time frame you're looking at where Bitcoin could be. Let's see, 100,000 BTC. What do you see Riot trading at a minimum and maximum? Maximum would be minimum would be, I think, a 2x. Bitcoin goes to 200,000. Maximum, I mean, you're looking, geez, I don't know, more than 2x, I would think. Okay, let's see. So it was a great decision for Mara to buy BTC while others were selling earlier this year. Yeah, depending on the timing. I'm still not a big fan of companies buying Bitcoin, the ones that are especially mining it at a much lower cost. But they have a different playbook there. We'll see. Okay. If you have to choose one, Mara at 20 or Cleanspark at 12, which would you choose? I would choose actually Cleanspark right now. Okay, Cleanspark is on track for 600 plus Bitcoin mined for this month. Okay, October, the production report would be good. HODL will jump to 8,700. Nice. Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Subway and Cleanspark, $58. Bitcoin's going to be above, probably at that point, like 150,000, I would think. Okay, is this it? Don't want to jinx it. When to take profits, 90,000 or even higher? I mean, that's up to you. I'm going to be probably taking profits right around that time frame as well. 100,000 for Bitcoin possibly. When it gets there, I'll start slowly dollar cost averaging. I don't know where the top's going to be. Okay. People have said Bitfarms not performing because it's a Canadian company and Riot issue. Bitfarms will perform well after they deliver the exahash we are expecting them to do. I'm hoping that's the case, right? I'm hoping that the other stuff is not an issue. Time will tell. What's the percentage of total cost of coin would you say is energy? What percentage of total cost of coin would you say is energy? Depending on the company, the size of the company, the scale of the company, and how much overhead they have with everything else. So it varies between the companies. Let's see. Already covered that one. Any forecast on Bitfarms and Cleanspark short term? No, not really. I mean, it just depends on where Bitcoin goes. We know that they're both growing. As far as where the stock is going to go, it's going to be dependent on Bitcoin. Let's see, Victor says Bitfarms more undervalued than Cleanspark. It seems like it right now, yeah. Is Cypher a good buy? I think it is still. It's had a nice run up here. It's had a really good run up here, so it might be catching a little bit of a rotation out of that one into other miners as well that haven't been up as much. We'll have to wait and see on that one. My throat's starting to get dry. Excuse me. Let's see. Sebastian, when Cleanspark Moon, if things go well, it'll be next year, somewhere around this time, possibly, maybe earlier. Let's see here. Hey, Seb, will you let us know when you begin taking profits? Will you use the Fibonacci indicator? I don't know if I'll use the Fibonacci indicator. I'm just going to go off my gut, actually. And yeah, I will let you guys know. If I'm going to start selling, I'm going to let you guys know. I've been telling you guys when I've been buying. I'm going to tell you guys when I start selling, and I'll tell you the percentage that I sold or something like that. It's going to be small, right? It's going to be like 5% of my portfolio here and there. So it's going to take a while for it to sell it all off. Do you believe the next crypto will see a new bottom for the miners, or they actually all miners actually bottomed and we're going to find new bottom now? Oh, you mean like, so when they bottomed out this cycle around $1, will they bottom out a little bit higher than that? Oh, geez. Maybe, because I think Mara last time bottomed out lower than they did this time around. So I think next cycle, if companies are growing, yes. Also, some of the miners that are in HPC AI, like CORZ and Digihost is probably going to be going all in on HPC AI. They might not be even a miner in the next 2 years. But companies that have HPC contracts that are sizable, like Core does, those guys might not go down as much as the other miners because they have steady revenues there. They might go down half of what the other miners go. Let's see. What do you think about Bitfarms here? I thought about selling after I heard the last mining mafia spaces and swap to IREN. Big thing with, I still really like Bitfarms. I'm being patient with them, but it is testing my patience. They are still one of the best miners out there, right? They have really good growth here going into this year, 21 exahash by the end of the year, supposedly. We have to see that. The thing that's causing, I think, the stock from doing well is just the lack of growth here recently. So we need to see the growth, exahash growth for October. And that's why I said I'm giving them until the end of November. So when they report that in December, if it's lackluster in October and November, I'll probably be swapping out of that one as well. That's kind of what I'm thinking on it. Can Bitfarms hit 20? That would be on the very, very high end from where I think. Bitcoin being above 150, 180,000, somewhere around there, maybe even more than that. And they would just have to do really, really well in growing their hash rate into next year as well. With Trump win, he has talked about Bitcoin reserves for the U.S. What would that do for the price, and can you expand on it? Okay, that has to be, and he'd like to put it on there, but depending on what we have as far as Congress and Senate, right? If that's Democratic-led, then he might not get all the things that he wants, which with Bitcoin would obviously not be good. But he wouldn't be able to put on a reserve because you need to change the laws there. Now, depending on how much they would actually put into the reserves, the value on it, if it's sizable, then yeah, it's going to be definitely a good thing. But then it's also lead to other countries possibly doing the same thing, which we already have right now, but it's just going to make it have a snowball effect. That would definitely increase the value in Bitcoin, I think, quite a bit. Okay. Andrea says, Olma 82 is the new 62. Heck yeah. If you're really 82 years old, wow, congrats to you. Being in the Bitcoin mining stocks and everything else, there's not, I can't even imagine my grandma at that age, let alone knowing how to turn on a computer. About that, she passed away a long time ago. Computers were just coming on at that point. But yeah, that's fantastic. That is so awesome that you're keeping up to date with all this stuff. Okay, let's see. Is IREN still a good buy now? I still think so. Yep. Covered that. Let's see. A great show tonight, Seb. I chose you instead of Monday Night Football, especially. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'll probably watch Monday Night Football when I'm done here. Kind of catch up on things. Let's see. Congress controls the purse strings. Trump has no power to do half of what he is going to shill mode on. That goes for both parties, right? If whoever gets in the office, Republican or Democrat, you need the other party to be the same in order to do a lot of things that you want to do. If you don't have that, then you can't really do much. That's what do they call that? Filibusters and all that stuff, right? Where you have the, I'm not going to get into politics. Let's see. BTC at 71,000, Bitfarms up 13, pretty good day. Yeah, it was a good day. We need a couple more of those. Well, actually, a lot more of those. What's your take on Mawson? Mawson, for me, I covered them last cycle. I still covering them in the small miners. They got rescued here by the HPC deal that they got recently, but they've been transitioning more so into hosting miners instead of mining for themselves. How will they do? I don't know. Let's see. Allman says, been trading for over 50 years, used to have to go to things called libraries to research. Yeah, things have definitely changed. Okay. Hey, Seb, you say BTC miners are mining at a much lower price, but some other people are saying cost is too high and miners not making any money with BTC at 68,000. So what is the actual total cost? depending what you include. If you include like depreciation, stock-based compensation, then yeah, they're probably not making enough right now. If you exclude all those non-cash costs, they're still profitable at this point. They should be, based on the numbers, because you got Cleanspark mining at $27,000 per Bitcoin, right? That on top of costs and on top of it for the operations and things like that, they should be profitable on that. But once you include the other things into it, then it looks like they're not profitable. When you dollar cost average out, where will you go with it then, looking to get into different stocks, BIL for a while? I'm not sure what BIL stands for. Okay. What will I do with it, with the cash? I might put it into like the S&P 500. There's some other things I want to do. I want to get into like investment properties and things like that as well, kind of diversify a little bit more. And then I'd love to repeat the cycle again. All right, so if we go up next year, we peak sometime, continue to dollar cost average out of the miners into 2026 possibly, depending, because we don't know where things are going to end up at. But at that point, I'll be pretty much either all cash, or I'll be some cash, some in like the S&P 500, depending on how the economy is doing, things like that. I may look into other things as well. Maybe look at EVs, look at power companies as well, energy companies, things like that. We'll see. I'm not that far yet. I'm not looking at those things yet. Okay. Mikiko says, I regret I sold my 2,000 shares of HUT 3 months ago. I bought that at $9.50 Canadian. Now it's up to $23 Canadian. Yeah. I mean, that's why you got to pick the ones that you have conviction in, dollar cost average into, at least the way I did it, because you do those types of things and you could kick yourself in the back, but a little bit. Okay. You know, when the bull run is here, when the Neptune digital asset is up 95 today and over 200% the past few days. Okay. Yeah. Meme coins and all that stuff is going up. Let's see, would you only start taking profit from the 3 to 4th quarter 2025 as you're speculating will top out BTC cycle, or would you start taking profits? Do you see it if Bitcoin hits? Yeah, I'm going to be doing probably earlier, like when Bitcoin hits 100,000, somewhere around there, I'll start dollar cost averaging out. So if we get there by the end of this year, right, Bitcoin gets to 100,000, I'm going to start slowly dollar cost averaging out. Okay. How much exahash do you think Bitfarms will report at the next earnings? They got to report at least 2 exahash growth. That was what they told us, that they're getting 10,000 of the, so it's going to be close to 2 exahash. 10,000 of the T21 miners to the facilities at Stronghold. So that's minimum that they should install. You think we could see Cleanspark revisit 15 to 18 by the end of, oh, heck yeah, more than that, possibly even. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, I think IREN will more than double the amount of Bitcoin mined than Wolf this month to approximately 400 BTC for October. Do you agree? What did they mine? Let me see here. TeraWolf mine, let's take a look at it here. I got my numbers here. They mine 140 and Bitcoin self mine. They are moving things over from Nautilus facility to Lake Mariner. Don't know how much they got installed there, but so yeah, they're not going to be installing too much. And then IREN, 347 in September. We had the miners running at approximately how many days for September? September we had them at 23. So if they can increase that uptime and along with the additional miners, yeah, they could. I don't think they're going to double, but they're definitely going to increase it. But I believe IREN's going to mine more than TeraWolf is for sure. Okay, going back here. Okay. Seb, my wife's boyfriend says BTC will break out to new all-time high. Thoughts? I was going to go someplace with that, but I'm not going to. You may want to have a discussion with your wife, unless you guys go that way where you guys are open to those types of things. And that's okay. BTC breakout to new all-time highs tonight. I mean, oh, geez, I just don't see that happening. We're at 71,000. You mean like in the new day for Tuesday? Could we do that to get to 73,000? What would that be? How much of an increase would that actually be? Let's take a look at it here really quick. So we're up here. That would be another increase to 73,000. What is it? 73,000, like just say 500 roughly. That would be, I can't see. There we go. 73,500 would be roughly the new one. Where is it at? Oh my gosh. Okay, 73,500. That would be 3.4. Maybe. Might be doable. 3.5% from where we are right now. That means Bitcoin would be up, what, approximately 5%. We've seen days like that before in the past. Nothing's stopping it from doing that. So I'm not going to say no, because it is possible. It's done it in the past. Okay. Riot says, I'm an old man, 63, and I'm managing my parents' portfolio with 109,000 shares in CORZ and Bit Digital. What a great day today. Can you imagine my 90-year-old dad and 85-year-old mom having this much fun? Wow. That's congratulations to you. That's awesome. Okay. I think I have decided to use a trailing stop. That way, take profit on food and still give the opportunity to run. For me, that seems the best for both profits. Possibly, yeah. Okay, IREN at 1090s back to being at 10x from $2 low for the bear market. Is any other miner back to 10x from the low? Still far off. It's 1575. Let me see. Cleanspark got to what, $1 something like that. They're getting close to being at 10x on that one. Okay, covered that one. Let's see. Ryan says, congrats to your parents. Tell them to sell next year after BTC is above 100,000. Hold on to that sucker. Oh, okay. Sorry, Andrea. Me, old man. Okay, I got confused. You're talking about with the old man there. Okay, about the age. Looks like we have local top on Bitcoin tomorrow morning. Okay, that'd be nice. Okay, old man says, good community here. I'm doing okay. Building wealth for the grandkids with Seb's help. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm trying to build the wealth for my family and my kids. Depending on how they are, if they're good kids, they'll get something. If not, they're going to have to work for it. Okay. Yeah, Andrea, not me, Seb. I'm not 82, but thanks for the kind words. Okay, I must have missed something in there. Sorry about that. Ed says, I think Ben is in Paraguay or somewhere overseas looking after business. I really, really, really hope he could surprise us with some great updates first week of November. Yeah, me too. We are all hopeful of that. Okay. Are you feeling more positive about Bitfarms? Do you think they will likely at least 5x next year? Yeah, I'm thinking that's a minimum, 5x for them. Ian, thank you so much for coming in. Yo, first time live from UK. Exciting time today. Yes, it was a great time. Okay. The BTC all-time high is 73,700. Do you think there will be a massive sell-off around that number? I don't think so, to be honest. We might have a little bit of sell pressure, but if people bought it at 73,000, why would they sell it when it gets to 73,000? You would think people would possibly get it up, at that point. That's the way I look at it. Okay. The math for using DCA on the way out so you don't miss the top, lower brick a lot while not limiting upside too much. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Ronald says, I'm keeping a close eye on everything this time like Sebastian. I got caught last bear market as well. No round trip for us either. I'm waiting for my 151,370 shares in DEF TF to wake up as well. Okay, nice. Okay, what was your bear and bull case for both BTC and Cleanspark this cycle, and when will you start taking profits? Bear, I mean, we've already passed the bear on it, right? So we're heading into the bull here. Bitcoin, I still think is my original estimate for it going back down 2 years was 180,000 for this bull run. And for Cleanspark, it's been, originally was like $70, but with the amount of dilution that we've seen in the past year or two, I got that lowered down a little bit to like $60 to $70 for them. And that's still actually pretty good because they've actually increased their hash rate quite tremendously here. So that's really helping the stock value where I think it might be, actually. Okay. I bought Bitfarms first about 10 months ago and still haven't even broken even, and that's with DCA a few times. I'm patient for the next 12 months, but I would like to hear if you are still confident up. I'm still optimistic with Bitfarms, right? I was down like 80% at one point, I think, with Bitfarms from when I started buying it. I started buying it at $5 back in January of 2022 because I didn't know where the bottom was going to be on the market, right? It was 12 months later that I actually bottomed out everything, but I was, buying as much as I could at that point, buying it into 2023 as well. So I know how the feeling of that is, being down quite a bit. But I still think in the next 12 months, we should, in theory, we should see nice returns on Bitfarms, whether it's, 3 to 5 to 7x, whatever it might be. I think we're still going to see really good returns on it. Let's see. Ed says, historically, most of the successful Canadian companies get bought out by American companies eventually. This is why I think Riot will eventually buy Bitfarms before the next cycle. You might be right there. I don't know. They would have to do it at the bear market, the next bear market potentially. Private says the Bitfarms will go up. Yeah, I still think so. Ian is 30% Bitfarms, 30% IREN, 12% CORZ, 15% Cleanspark, 8% Hive, 5% Soluna. Was heavy. CORZ cut some good gains early in 24, but easing down on it now. Nice. Okay. Nice portfolio there. Let's see. Bemney says Bitcoin will soon teleport to 80,000. There's no resistance on the charts. It's clear skies for takeoff. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. Okay. Ian says, in my opinion, this is the best. This is the place to be. Thanks, Seb. Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming in. Okay. Seb, thoughts on where we're headed the rest of the week? New all-time high by Friday. What you think? I mean, we're not too far off of it. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I'd be excited as heck if it did. Okay, let's see. Plan B should have a nice post the start of next month. Yep, I follow him also. Seb, when are you shorting Cleanspark stocks? I've never shorted stocks in the past. When you short a stock, what's the most you can get? 100%, right, on it? So that's why I've always been in favor of actually going long on the stocks, believing in the companies to do actually really well going forward. But this time I might actually short. I might just do a little bit just to test it out. Now, as far as when am I going to be shorting it? I'm going to be shorting it if Bitcoin gets to like 150, 180,000. That's maybe when I'll think about doing it. But I'm not doing it at I'm not doing it at 100,000. Let's see, Ian. Yeah, definitely a risk on portfolio. Just gotta hold on tight. Yeah, be patient. Let's see, it's looking that way. May retest high 60s. Might wait for Trump to win. Yeah, it could go many ways, right? Okay. You said you think 5x minimum for Bitfarms. What is your likely guess for how high they will go these next 12 months? I'm thinking somewhere between $15 and $20. I'm thinking. Let's see here. Tribal Production, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Great content, Seb. Really enjoy content up about 10x on most miners except Bitfarms, still down 5%. But getting close to it. Okay, nice. Yeah. Yeah, Bitfarms has been challenging. Private says I'm down 10% with Bitfarms, even though I kept averaging. Okay, we talked about that. Okay. Ian says my bet is a sell the news through 5.11, then upwards a week later. Okay. Brett says he's been holding Bitfarms since 2021. I've been holding it since 2022. Okay. Sarmelin says Trump's going to win. Wall Street floodgates will open and Bitcoin is going to skyrocket 200,000 next year. That'd be awesome. Okay. Ronald says I'm up way over 10x with CORZ in at 45 cents. Wow, nice. Got them a year ago when they were CORZQ in bankruptcy penalty box. My dad bought some as well. He didn't buy as many as you did at that point, but he did buy some more shares. And when they were in, he had such a high conviction. I'm like, Dad, why are you buying this company that's in bankruptcy? Oh, there's a lot of things that I read on Yahoo Finance chats and all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I was a little worried for him that he was gonna get burned by, but man, he did great. Let's see. 70 price predictions for Hive. Thank you. Hive will do, at least I would think, it will follow Bitcoin for the most part. It will outperform it a little bit. But their big thing is great operations. I've talked about this before. Great cost structure, everything else. They're a great company. I just wish they were a little bit more not prone, I wouldn't say that's the right word, more enthusiastic about growing their hash rate. And they're not. They would just want to maintain 1% of the network hash rate. And so I think they'll do great. They probably won't do as great as some of the other ones. Okay. What about Ken? I've talked about Ken in the past. Ken, if you look at their chart compared to Bitcoin over the last year to date, 2 years, it has been underperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been actually going up. Ken's been going down. I am not a big fan of Ken. I would not be in it. Let's see here. New high this week will depend on the inflation report this week. When is that coming out? Seb, do you still think the miners can do 4 to 6x from here? Yeah, I still think so. I'm seeing 3 to 5x, right? But that's conservative. If we go higher than that, that's all gravy. I'd be happy with 3 to 5x on some of these guys here still. What's the next resistance for BTC? That's going to be the previous all-time high, right? We need to break past that. Ian says, I reckon up rest of this, but choppy in below 73,000, nudging past 73,000 next Monday, then dip for a few days. I'm sure it's not going to just shoot through 73 in one attempt. What did it do last time? Right, last peak was 69,000, wasn't it? Well, that was the peak, 69,000, but the prior peak to that was 19,000. So if we go back maybe far enough, can we actually see what happened last time? Let's go on the weekly here. That'll bring us back up a little faster here on it. There we go. Okay, so there's our double top that we had here in 2021. Prior to that, we had the 19,000, right? Okay, so there's the 19,000 on it. Let's go to the daily here really quick. Oh, we're going to go back further. Back further. Okay, so here's 30,000, 18,000, 16,000. That's the other 69,000. Okay, we got to go way back. Back to right around, let's see here, 7,000 we bottomed out here. Okay, there's 11,000, 19,000. What happened there at 19,000? So that was a previous high there. We got to it. What did we do? We actually went down a little bit, and then we just went like crazy here. So we might see that. Or we might just continue to go up here. You never know with Bitcoin. Right, it's a different cycle altogether. We got more institutions. We got more of everything else that's buying up Bitcoin right now. So anything is possible with Bitcoin right now. All right, I think I'm catching up to your questions here as well. Let's see. Do you think IREN will cross $70? I think it has a really good chance of getting there. Bitcoin's got to be above 150,000, 180,000, somewhere around there. Okay, Private says somewhere between 15 and 20 sounds amazing for Bitfarms. I really hope you are right. I'm hoping too. I got a lot of Bitfarms shares. Let's see. Okay, do you think Microsoft board meeting vote in December will vote yes for having Bitcoin on balance sheet? Well, it's just not the board. It's the shareholders meeting, right? So the whole shareholders get to vote on that. So if you got a lot of BlackRocks and things like that that are invested in Bitcoin, they might vote in favor for this. It'll be interesting to see. Let's see. Inflation Fed gauge PCE is on Thursday. Okay, cool. Thursday. Oh, that's PCE. Okay. Okay. BlackRock is also buying like 100 to 300 million per DC per day. Nice. Let's see. I need Riot at 60 to reach my target of being happy. Is it possible? I think it is. Okay. If and when IREN pulls back and is around $9 to $10, do you think it will likely do more of a multiple than Ethereum? I have a bunch of spot Ethereum ETF, but no IREN. Yeah, I'm expecting IREN to do, or not IREN, Ethereum to do maybe like a 3x from where it's at right now, maybe. So I do think that IREN could possibly do better than that. Okay. Thoughts on Digital. So thoughts on Digital. Gosh, I'll give you guys my thoughts on it, right? I don't think they're being valued for their HPC or their Bitcoin mining right now, to be honest with you guys. The reason they're not being valued for the Bitcoin mining is because their hash rate is kind of low. It's not growing much either, and not at all, actually. They've stopped talking about getting to 6 extra hash, so they're not getting even to that by the end of the year. And it looks like they're transitioning more into the HPC AI player, right? They bought a data centers provider. Recently, they're doing that more. So I'd expect them to be out of Bitcoin mining possibly within the next year to 2 years. Whatever machines they have now and contracts that they may be having in place for hosting on those things, they're going to use those up, burn them out, and be done with it, I think. With the HPC AI play, they're also not being valued on that quite as well as somebody like CORZ is right now. And that's because they've been asset light. They've been partnering with other companies that are actually hosting the machines, whereas now they're buying infrastructure as well, which I think is good. So for that reason, I think they will do better going forward because of that. And then I think maybe the confusion with the Ethereum hodl that they have there and the staking on it, I don't know if that's helping them either as well. I think if they had Bitcoin, it'd be a different story then. You said it's possible for Riot to reach $60. What is the time frame? Sometime this next year, if they can improve their uptime and everything else. Amik, good night, Seb. I have to wake up in for. Oh my gosh, yeah, get some sleep. Keep up the awesome streams. Hope we have a good week. Me too. Thanks for coming in. Definitely get some sleep. Okay. Okay. Why is the BTC mining guy on Twitch so obsessed on Twitch? You mean on Twitter? So obsessed with BTB? He just sees a lot of potential in them, right? So I just don't see it there. I could be wrong on it. He could be right. Let's see. The thing that they don't talk about with HPC is how much it actually costs to run that. That's why Ben is off it. Well, depending how you run it, right? If you get a deal with CoreWeave and Core Scientific, right? The deal that they got there, that's a fantastic deal because you're not having to spend the money on the HPCs, the infrastructure, yes, but the components, the servers, all that stuff that goes into it. And then CoreWeave is paying for basically electricity, all that stuff, and Core Scientific is just getting a huge reward for basically leasing or offering that megawatts to them. So if you get a deal like that, then yes, it makes sense. But if you're having to buy the machines, the GPUs, everything else that goes along with it, that's very, very expensive. And if you're trying to build facilities that are tier 3 data centers, oh my gosh, you're more expensive. So it's definitely a huge cost there. Let's see. Gold Cross is not appearing for Bitfarms right now. Do you think it will drop tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see where Bitcoin goes. I think Bitcoin goes up, it will go up. Sebastian, thoughts on Wolf recent 500 million conversion note? Financial appears smart. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little strange that they would use $100 million to buy back shares. I'm like, why do that? You're in this growth phase right now. You should be growing. Later on, when you're making, 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, whatever it is a year in revenue, in profit or something like that, then you can think about buying shares back. Right now, it should be, this is what we need to grow. This is what we need to do. That money goes to growth, man. You're in a growth phase. You're not in share buyback mode yet. That's just my thoughts on it. I think the interest rate that they got on it was really good, 2.something%, which is really, really good. It's not due until, 2030 or something like that. So in that regard, it's good, right? They're getting a lot of capital here, but they will either have to pay for it later on, or they have to dilute to pay for it. So one way or another, that's going to be something's going to be happening there. But we'll see. Riot and Mara price targets, gosh, depending where Bitcoin's at, right? That all depends on Bitcoin. How well do they continue to grow? All those things. Where's network hash rate? But I think Bitcoin going up to 150,000 plus, they're going to do great. You could definitely see them at least 3 to 5x from where they are right now, easily. Okay. Ian says, I bought 2x RTX 1080 Ti GPUs today. Does that make me an HPC play? Possibly, if you're doing HPC kind of work, if you're doing language models and things like that. Let's see. Would you sell ETH in order to buy IREN under 10. High conviction that IREN will do a significant higher multiple, or just play it safe and hold the spot ETF, Ethereum ETF. Oh gosh, I mean that would be probably a safe. I'm not even going to say it's safer. I think a safer bet would be to be in Bitcoin, to be honest with you. And then if you're looking for higher rewards, higher multiples, then I would get into IREN. Could Wolfbot buy those shares back because they've got something big coming in terms of announcement and want to hold more shares before announcing? And that could be a possibility there as well. But then why not use the whole shebang for it? Right? Why not use the whole $500 million to buy back shares? If they want to buy to hold more shares. I don't know. Let's see. DeFi says, I'm down 25% in Riot. Which miner would you convert to? So, okay, so you must have bought it at a higher rate or higher cost. Oh gosh. The ones that I like, I mean, there's ones that are doing even better than the ones that I like. Wolf was way up. Cypher is way up still, right? I think the ones that I like, Cleanspark, IREN, Bitfarms, are starting to catch a nice little bit here now, and will do much better going forward. But Bitcoin going up. But I like those. I like, I still like Riot. I think Riot, if they can improve their operational uptime, they'll do better going long run. Mara is another interesting one. Who else? All these guys will probably do very well. I'm trying to find the ones that will do possibly the best. Will I get that right? I don't know. Done pretty good on Cleanspark. IREN and Bitfarms have been okay. They're not as great as Cleanspark performance from when I was buying it, but they've done great. So yeah, you gotta look into all these things. Okay. Private says, I really appreciate the help. You're very welcome. Does it look like you will get out of Bitfarms soon? Not yet. I'm still giving him until the end of November here. Private says, hit the like button, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. And we're going to call it a day because we're going on almost an hour and a half here. And I have to go use the bathroom. So thank you, everyone, for coming in to spend a little time with me. It's obviously been a great day for Bitcoin miners. And this is what we've been kind of building up here for the last 2-3 years, something like that, for us to get to this point and appreciate the gains once Bitcoin starts going up much higher. But we still have a ways to go. We still have, I think, somewhere around 9 months plus to go before everything is said and done. We're going to try to monitor everything as best as we can, see where things are going, where's Bitcoin going, what's the economy doing a little bit as well, and maybe do a lot better than we did last cycle. That's the end goal right there, is not to be holding the bags afterwards. So again, thank you so much for coming in. I love you all. I hope you guys have a great week. Today's Monday. It's turning out to be a great week so far. We'll see how it ends. All right, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.